a relationship I feel like all of us have with a great deal of fascination, but because I think it feels so personal for people, is Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. You officiated their wedding?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think that we have such a beautiful hope and aspiration for refinding a love that we had that we got away from? And can you come back together?
Well, I feel like we all have someone that we consider the one that got away.
Yes.
And the one that got away is not always the one we should get back with, just putting it out there, right? And just in case we're going to break up some marriages, that's not the plan. But I think there's this idea that if we had something special, why did we lose it? Why did we give it away? Why did we let it go? But you have to go on your individual journey of growth to reunite again. You don't just reunite because you have the same old feelings. It's because you have new growth. The same old feelings will just create the same old patterns, and it will lead to the same old result. And so those new ideas, and I mean, for me, that moment was just really special because getting to see love up close is really beautiful. I remember when Jennifer Lopez was walking down the aisle and Ben's hands were shaking, her lips were quivering, you saw a tear roll down the eye. I was just watching those micro moments, these really mindful, present moments of love. Watching love up close is really beautiful and really special.
All right, so I've been up, for days and nights just reading your book and doing the workshops. Now, I've been single for 7 years, and you were a monk in an ashram, taking in what you had to was a celibate journey for that time. What should time alone teach us?
I would say that time alone is really interesting because I think so much of society is defined by time. You should be married by your 30, have kids by your this age, do this by that age. We have all of these metrics and milestones. And I think when you spend time alone, you get to redefine what's important to you.
Being with yourself is so important. I didn't realize that when I was younger. Can you realize that when you are younger?
It's hard. I think so many people feel that they lose themselves in a relationship. And the truth is, we didn't lose ourselves. We didn't know ourselves in the first place. And when you lose yourself in a relationship, you then have to find yourself in solitude. And so when you find yourself when you're spending time by yourself, you actually discover who you are. And I get it that it's hard to do it when you're younger, but actually it can be the best investment you make, even if it's against everything that you're being pulled towards and all the excitement of a relationship. I'm not saying you need to take 3 or 7 years alone, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to go and live as a monk, but the idea of spending some time getting to know yourself is probably the best investment, not just for your love life, your career, your purpose, your friendships, for any area of your life.
Well, it's interesting. That actually was something. I mean, I have this whole thing annotated.
I can see.
I've been deep diving. And you mentioned the word purpose. And you say in the book something to the effect of that you have to find your own purpose. You even have a little bit of a calendar that I found very fascinating with time off during the week of togetherness, time with other people, time with yourself.
Yeah.
How do you have time off while you're living with someone and in a marriage or a serious relationship?
Yeah, I think what we're getting at here is why would you take away from your partner what makes them feel whole and full? If you want to be your partner's purpose, then you've got to deal with so much more and not realize that sometimes their friends group is the best source of joy for them, their family, their work. So the calendar that you're talking about is an encouragement. You don't have to live it as it says it in the book, but why do we give up our friends? Why do we give up our collective friends? Why do we give up our family? So this calendar breaks down every week or every month or at least every quarter. Spend time alone. Even if you're in a relationship, you have to spend time with yourself. Spend time with the person. Of course, you have a relationship with them. Spend time with collective friends. That's really good for bonding and having deeper connections in your community. And then make sure you spend time with your individual friends as well. All of those relationships are a part of loving your partner better and feeling more full in how you love them.
I love this so much. All right, now we have a surprise for our audience.
Everyone in the audience is getting a copy of my new book, 8 Rules of Love. So thank you to Drew. Thank you so much.
All right, up next, we're gonna speak with comedian Phoebe Robinson, and we're gonna learn what she learned from her recent breakup. She also has an imprint and a new book published through it. This book is exceptional. We'll be right back.